everybody good? How is everyone doing on this fan-fucking-tastic Sunday? Chat! I was not live the last 2 days because I was graduating college. I was busy. I was not just, dicking around, doing nothing. I was graduating college. Somebody actually posted a video of me at my graduation. I knew some people were going to recognize me because, my college was pretty big. So it was like not that many people knew I went there comparative to like who was in my class. And somebody ended up posting this video. I'll do a little story time of the graduation and shit, but
Joseph Bartolozzi.
Yo, I look at this guy.
Joseph Bartolozzi.
Bro dipped. Dude, yeah, no, I was speed walking through that. Everybody was telling me, like, Brooke was there. And, she was, like, watching me graduate. And she was like, you were walking so fast. I was like, I know. Dude, this is the president of the university. And the whole fucking time, there was, like, probably 100 people that fucking walked up before me. Maybe more. And while they were walking up, the guy would go like this. He was like, because there was probably, 2,000 people that were fucking graduating that day. And so they were trying to like speed through it because they had to announce everybody's name. I was like, I'm not gonna have him wave me on. So I didn't even stop. I just shook his hand and I kept walking, bro. That's what they wanted me to do. He ain't waved me on. He shook my hand and I left. And bitch, I graduated with magna cum laude. Magna cum laude. Yep, 3.95 GPA, bitch. Almost perfect. 4 years. I had a B in one class. Fuck out of here. Actually, I had a B in 2 classes. But I had an A in everything else. I had a B+. It was my math class freshman year. And then what else did I have a B in? I had a B in some other bullshit. Not at all my philosophy classes I had A's in. I think I might have gotten a B in like chem. Or some shit. Back when I was in exercise science, my freshman year, I think I might have gotten like a B in one of the science courses. Or like my fucking bio lab. Thank you to everybody that's saying congrats on graduating. I do appreciate that. It was, I don't know. I'll do a little story time, but overall, it was like mixed feelings, man. Because like, I fucking hated some of my classes, dude. Just having to fucking balance social media and fucking college was so annoying sometimes. And so, like, I'm happy I don't have to do that anymore. And I can, like, focus more on, like, work and life and shit. Rather than just, like, a bunch of random ass, like, gen ed classes. But, conversely, it's weird. Because, and this is, like, me getting all fucking philosophical, philosophy and religion degree Bart. But, like, it's such a monumental chapter. It's the first big chapter of your life ending, right? When you're a kid, you're basically in that first growing, becoming an adult for the first 22 years of your life, right? Unless you don't go to college, but that's a whole different story. I still think even if you don't go to college, 4 years after high school is still a growth period in the first chapter of your life. And so it's basically the first chapter of my life is ending. Like I am theoretically, I don't know. I've thought about going back and getting like a master's or something, but realistically, I will likely never go back to school for the rest of my life. And it's like sad, kind of. It's not necessarily that I'm going to miss, like taking a class on fucking sharks or something like that, but it's just weird to be, my whole life. And I'm assuming for you guys as well, because most of you guys are like probably high school, college students. Your whole life, you've been in class, right? You have summer, and then when summer's over, you go back to class, right? And so it doesn't feel weird yet because it's summer. Or it's not summer, but it's going to be summer. So it's like I'm out. This is a regular time for me to not be in class. It's not weird yet. But when fall hits and I go, you should hit the cart. Chat, stop telling me I should hit the cart and listen to me fucking talk. Stop typing smooth brain ass comments. For the fucking love of God. Oh my God, listen to what I'm saying right now. Instead of just spit, you should just fucking hit the cart because you graduate. No. Okay, no. I don't even know what I was saying. You just fucking got me off topic, you asshole. Anyways, when like fall hits, Like when September, October rolls around and I'm no longer in college, that's when it's going to be fucking weird, you know? Like when I'm still doing the same shit I'll be doing, right? I mean, I don't know fucking when social media is going to end or what my next transition in life's going to be. I want to start working on opening some sort of business. And when I'm done social media, that's basically what I'm going to start working on in like the next 2 months or so. But I'm going to start working on that. But regardless, it's still going to feel weird that like the entire first, I mean, obviously not the first like 5 years of your life, you're not really in school, but the first big chapter of my life where all I've known is going to school, going home, going to school, going home, going to school, going home. That's over, right? Like I'm no longer doing that. So it's weird. It hasn't really hit me yet. And I'll do a little story here, but there was one moment where it did, and I almost cried. We pull up to like where I'm graduating, right? And we have to get there mad early because there's so many fucking people. And they split my graduating class. I graduated 2024, obviously. They split my class in two. So it was I graduated with everybody that was in the School of the Arts, Business, and Health Sciences. Right? Those three all graduated together. Every other major graduated before me. So anybody that was in a major outside of those three schools, like the School of Arts, Business, and Health Science, if they weren't in one of those three, they weren't even at my graduation, right? But even so, they were still in my class. I just didn't see them. We show up, and I'm wearing that fucking whole thing, right? I have my, if you could see, I have my Phi Sigma Tau Philosophy Honor Society, dubbed for that, Phi Sigma Tau. A lot of people thought it was a frat. I'm not in a fraternity. Phi Sigma Tau. I had my tassels. I graduated with distinction. And I got a fucking silver cord for magna cum laude, which I thought was fucking sick. Didn't know I was going to get that. I didn't even know my GPA until they handed me a card that said it. But we show up, and they kind of like filter us by last name, right? So it's like A through B, C through D, and it was like everybody just kind of lined up, and you walk forward, you told them their name. They handed you a card, and you would walk up, and if your grades were good enough, you got like an extra tassel and then a cord that you would wear corresponding to your GPA. I get my card, I get my tassels, I go wait in line, and they give me a number, and the number is between 0 and 2,250, and I was like 1,600 something, but I think my graduation was between actually I think it was up to like 3,000. And so I think my graduation started at like 1,500 something because I think 0 to 1,500 was earlier in the day. I go and I stand in this like group of like 50 people, and we have to line ourselves up in these like segments between like, it would be like 2,100 to like 2,150. And if that was your card, you would go stand in that segment, and you had to line yourselves up in like corresponding order. And I knew no one, like literally no one. And that's what's so weird. Is that like when you graduate high school, even if you have a big high school, you know most of the people, right, that like you're around. You've at least seen them. I did not recognize one person for like 2 hours. Like I walked in, no one, I didn't know it's not even like I didn't know them. I had never seen their face. And they were graduating in the same. And so a lot of the people that were commenting on this TikTok that this person posted were like, I graduated with Joe Bart. I didn't even know he went to my university. Like when you're in college and you graduate, unless you're going to a really small college, and I didn't even go to a big one, like Rutgers, New Brunswick has like 10,000 kids per class. Mine had like 2. I was like a medium-sized university. Even so, I didn't recognize anybody. We're all lining ourselves up. It's just small talk. And I'm like, let's get this show on the road, right? I'm standing there, 10 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, an hour goes by, and my shoulders start hurting because I'm standing so long, right? I feel my weight. It's like I'm working it's like I'm back at GNC, dude, just fucking standing there checking people out like I'm a fucking retail person. Oh my God, I don't think I've ever stood that long in the last 5 years of my life. I was just literally standing doing nothing. And the connection was ass, so I couldn't even stim on my phone. I was just like standing there. And at one point, I was like opening Subway Surfers, and I was like, am I really going to stoop to this level? And then I was like, no, and I just stared at a wall. And so I was so fucking bored, and I was sweating because you're wearing a fucking dress with like all this other shit under it, and it's so fucking annoying. And eventually they start playing it, and it's like what is the song? What's like the graduation song? Oh my God. And she plays it on this fucking organ. Where it's like, bah, not the, bah, 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 not that. What's the one? You know what I'm talking about? This. Can you hear it, guys? This is the song. And it's just so awkward, bruh. And you'll see like dude, what was hilarious is you could tell like people's personalities based on how they would react when they saw there was a camera looking at them. And like some of the guys would go like, ah, like in front of it. And I was just like, that is so cringy. It was like funny, but they were like, there's like fucking 5,000 people watching. And some guy, like, he would like stick his tongue out. Dude, the funniest shit, I'm going all over the place on this story. There was this one guy that was on the corner. And it would be like the president of the university speaking, and they would always pan to the students. But it was the same shot of them panning to the students. And it panned to this one guy like 20 times. And every time he would go like this. And then look back at it. He would like make eye contact with the camera, do like a weird thumbs up, and then just look back and just not acknowledge it. And I don't know if he planned on doing that, but it was just like an in the moment thing. He just kept doing it. It was, I don't even know the guy's name. It was funny as shit though, but they were playing that song and she was playing the same 15 seconds on repeat for like 20 minutes, dude. We finally walk in. I'm like, yeah, let's get this show on the fucking road, right? I'm like one of the first groups to walk in because the School of Arts walks in first. And I'm standing there. Then the School of Business comes in. And it's like fucking 7,000 fucking people, dude. It's so many fucking people walking in on this shit. And I'm just standing there for so long. And at that moment, I determined I was leaving the second I got my diploma. I didn't even stay for my whole graduation. I fucking left. And they said not to leave too. And I felt like such an asshole. But I'm standing there I'm fucking sweating. Standing there. It's been 25 minutes of me just standing there with the same music on. I've been standing in the back room for like fucking 2 hours. At that moment, I was like, I'm fucking leaving. So I pull out my phone and I text Brooke. I'm like, we're getting the fuck out of here the second I grab my diploma. And they do this whole speech, and you know, it's like the cliche college shit where they're like, we're all grown now, and they mention COVID 17 times. We were the COVID graduating class, and I'm like actively just ready to fucking smash my head into a concrete wall. Just them mentioning how like we were the COVID graduating class, and I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, I just want to move past it. You know, it's like, fuck. The speeches were good. At one point, the president of the university starts going like this and getting everybody to clap in unison. And then he just starts singing Happy by Pharrell Williams. I don't know why he did it, but he did. He was just, he started going, because I'm happy. And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, I felt like I was in a fever dream. It had no correlation to any of his other speeches. Like, he was rambling about this other thing with, like, moving on and his life as, like, when he was a college university student. And it was, like, you know, it was meaningful. And then he, like, stops. And it just, like, hard cuts. And he just starts clapping. And just sings, like, probably half of Pharrell Williams' Because I'm Happy. Then they start calling our names, right? And I was banking on them saying my name wrong. Because they sent us this email, and they were like, you can submit a video of how to say your name. And I was like, fuck that shit. If they botch my name, I think it'll be funny. And so I didn't give a fuck. Did you guys see that one video, off topic, of that one woman at, I don't remember what university. Was it Jefferson? It was some university where she pronounced every single student's name wrong. And it was this year. I don't know. I think they gave her like the phonetic spelling. Do you guys know what college it was? Because I want to fucking pull up that video. It's so funny. It would be like, it was Thomas Jefferson. No, it wasn't. Thomas Jefferson University. The university apologizes because they used phonetic spelling. There's like a whole news article on it. Let me actually just look it up. Is this the video?
Tom moved me.
Thomas.
Tom moved me.
Thomas Jefferson University getting a lot of attention for moments like these.
Tom Mume. Tamume. No, she would literally say like Tamume Mikhail Kanavaru Jr. And then it would be like, and it wasn't even like hard names to pronounce. Dude, there would be like John Smith and they would fuck it up. I think they gave her what they were saying was that they gave her the phonetic spellings. So she wasn't reading it like it was just Thomas. It was like spelled out and written out in a way that you would pronounce it. But I guess she didn't know how to read phonetic spelling. But I mean, they probably should have, rehearsed that. Anyways, they didn't really pronounce anybody's names wrong, or botch them that hard. But I walk up, I get my diploma, and I shake the guy's hand, and then they take my picture. And there's this lady that like stands there with her arms out like this, and she's like, this way, and she's trying to wave you back into your seat. And I had to take a piss, and I was like, that's my key, right? I was like, I got to use the bathroom. And they were like, oh, okay, you could go, right? And I go to the bathroom, and then I just start fucking leaving. Like, I just fucking walk out. Like, everybody's looking at me. Everybody's walking towards the stage. I'm taking that long 100-yard walk out of the university. I got my fucking shit in hand. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck. I'm not waiting here for another hour for them to pronounce other people's names that I don't know, right? Right? Keep that in mind. Like, if it was people that I knew, that's one thing. There's probably like 5 people that were graduating in my class that were in my like graduation that hadn't been named. Because I knew a lot of the art students, and they were already called. Like, well, I'm not going to sit here and wait for the health science majors to get called that I don't know. And so I start leaving, and these 3 girls walk out, and they were, like, sitting in line with me. They were, like, kind of in my group, and I'm not going to shout out their major because then people will try to figure out who they are. But they're, like, walking out, and they're like, look at all these assholes leaving early, like, fucking losers. And oh my God, I just started fucking chuckling because they were walking past me looking at other people, and I was one of the guys that was doing that. Like, I was just fucking leaving. And I understand, it's like disrespectful, but I'm like, I had shit to do, right? I had places to be, right? I had a PF Chang's reservation at 5:30, right? And if I waited, I wasn't going to make it. And I made it, and I ate that Mongolian beef. So I fucking left because I had a fucking PF Chang's reservation. So I just wanted to leave, It wasn't even just me. So it made me feel better because when I walked out to the lobby, there were like fucking 40 other fucking students that were already dipping. And I'm glad I left because the graduation was like another hour and a half. They announced a bunch of people's names, and then they got back on the mic and said like another sappy speech. Didn't need to hear it. Give me my diploma. I'm out. Right? They don't even actually give you your diploma either, which is fucking hilarious. They give you a blank slate that like holds your diploma. Right? They don't even give you your diploma. They just hand you like a fucking placeholder for it because it would be too hard to like determine whose they have to hand out, and it would be out of order and shit. They actually like scanned your barcode on this card you had to pronounce your name in order in case people were like standing where they shouldn't be, so they didn't fuck up names. But they had it set up nice. But we leave, right? And then we go to PF Chang's. And that night, I go bar hopping with my friends. And that was an experience, right? A lot of people apparently go to, like, these bars in AC. I was like, fuck that. Let's go bar hop. Because I didn't want to go to the fucking casinos. Because I was like, I don't want to spend my graduation degeneratively gambling. And so we go bar hopping. The first bar we go to takes only cash. And I was like, I got a party at like 15. And I tell them like 2 hours in advance. And they're like, yeah, we'll be ready. We pull up and I walk in and I'm like, yeah, we got the party at 15. And the hostess literally looks at me and smirks like this. And like looks me up and down and goes, you're going to have to wait like 45 minutes. And I said, I called. And she was like, and goes like this. And I go, okay. And I just walk out, right? And then I say, we're going to the next bar, right? I walk in. I say, for 15. They say, oh, right over here. Sit anywhere you want. I go, wow, that's a good bar, right? That's a good bar. Sit anywhere I want. Thank you. And then we eat food there. I was like, fuck you. Like, I don't understand why some servers get mad about, like, okay, yeah, I'm a young college kid. Like, I understand, oh, my God, you'd think I'm not going to tip or something. But, like, wouldn't you want business? Like, wouldn't you want a group of 15 to pull up because they're going to spend $1,000 fucking dollars at your fucking bar cumulatively? Like, what a stupid ass. It's your fucking job and you're mad about it. Like, anyways. So we go. I get, like, a fucking chicken sandwich. We eat, blah, blah, blah. Immediately go to the next bar. And I get a Guinness, which is, like, a fucking stout. And everybody just starts buying me shots. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in fucking shambles. And then we Uber to another bar. And it was probably the trashiest bar I've ever been to, but I loved it. When you walked into the bathroom, they had a horse trough. There was no urinals. It was a horse. I wish I took a photo of it. It was a literal horse trough that you just lined up in and pissed in. And the stall, it was one of those bars that had a stall that was like 5 feet tall. So when you walked into the bar, even if you weren't trying to look, you could tell that somebody was taking a dump because you could fucking see them. Like if you were above 5'6", you would see somebody just taking a shit. And it was hilarious. Like the people that took a shit in there, you know, troopers, to say the least. But we're there and, you know, it's probably like me and, you know, like 10, 12 other people that I know. And we're all drinking. And one of my friends who will remain unnamed went from like 0 to 100 the second we stepped out of the bar. He got kicked out for being too drunk. Didn't even know this until the next day. He was like laying on the sidewalk and they had to carry him to the Uber. And he threw up in a Yeti cooler on the way back. And I was like, there's no fucking shot. And they're like, I can't even show this, but they have like a picture of him where he's just like this. Just like asleep. Literally asleep on the side of the road. And I was like, that is horrifying to get that drunk. Anyways, we get back. And half of my friends stay up till like 6 a.m. and they're playing card games. I'm fucking tired. I lay down. Second I lay down, it hits me. Because I'm so distracted the whole time that, like, I'm there. I remember everything up until one point, which I'll explain. But I remember everything. Basically, like, I was so distracted, I was just kind of, like, you know, messing around, hanging out with my friends. I'm not really, like, noticing how inebriated I am. And I lay down and my head starts spinning. And I just immediately go, I'm not even going to fucking try this shit. I'm just going to go make myself throw up. Right? Because my head starts spinning and I'm like, would I rather sit here and stay up for an hour and a half or just go throw up and then immediately be able to fall asleep? No way you were the first one sleeping. Oh, there were other people that were body bagged before me. There were other people that were asleep in like 20 minutes later or 20 minutes before me. But a lot of the guys were staying up and I was like, fuck that. They kept drinking for like 5 more hours. Fuck that shit, dude. They stayed up to like 6. Hell no. So I'm like, I like throw up around like 3 a.m. And then I go lay down. And I wake up the next day. And, you know, I'm like, oh, fucking having a grand old time. I'm like, yeah, it was a fun night. My friend shows me this video. I was asleep on the dining room table at 5 in the morning. And I don't remember it. And he said that I walked out of the Airbnb bedroom and show us. I'm not showing that video. I will not show that video. I will not show that. You can envision it. You can envision it because there's other people in the video that I wouldn't want to show like that drunk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if I'm drunk in the video because like I'll talk about how I fucking shit myself on stream. But like them, I'm not going to show that. Anyways, basically, he said I walked out of the bedroom and just started like sifting through the cabinets. And he said it looked like I was like half asleep. And he like touched me. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, and I like mumbled. And then I was like, dude, I'm good. And then I just start like grabbing cups and like moving them, but I'm not doing anything with them. I'm just like holding cups. And then he like turns around and walks back. And then when he comes back, I'm asleep on the fucking dining room table, like just passed out on the dining room table. And he told me that he dragged my feet off and then I just walked back to bed. But I don't remember that. That's the only thing I don't remember. But I also think I was asleep there. I think that is a callback to the Kona Big Wave piss incident comparably, where I was like half asleep and I like woke up and used the bathroom and then like didn't know like what to do, you know? And so I just fell asleep on the table. But that was the night, you know? Pretty interesting. That's about it. Not much happened after that. You know, it was a decent graduation, I guess. Anyways, the reacts that we have today